The Intercept has a superb article out by Li Fong and Ryan Grimm, and it's called The Dead Enders. Candidates who signed up to battle Donald Trump must get past the Democratic Party first. So what they do is they chronicle what populist left candidates have had to go through in order to try to gain support from the Democratic Party. Now, you would think right up front, well, hold on now. The Republicans won in a landslide. They control every level of government. And, the answer is clear. We ran our center-right candidate last time in Hillary Clinton. She lost. Well, we got to move left now. We tried center-right. We've been trying center-right. We lost 1,000 seats under Obama. We lost the White House with Hillary Clinton. So, obviously, we move left now. You would think that that's the logical answer, right? No. They go, I don't care about logic. We have a responsibility to our donors, so we're going to keep running Republican-light candidates. That's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not going to go through every example that they give in the article because there's just endless examples in the article. I'm going to leave the article in the video description box. You can read through it all yourself if you'd like, but I do want to give you one example so you get an idea what's really going on. Jess King is a superb candidate running in Pennsylvania's 16th district. In fact, she's a Justice Democrat. And she's endorsed by virtually every grassroots left organization for clear reasons, as you're about to see. So here's what they say about her. In June, one of their own, talking about left-wing groups, Jess King, who heads a nonprofit that helps struggling women start and run small businesses in the area, announced that she would be running to take out Republican Representative Lloyd Smucker in Pennsylvania's 16th district. Nick Martin, her field director and another co-founder of Lancaster Stands Up, again, left-wing group, was a leading activist in the popular and robust local anti-pipeline movement, an organized network King was able to tap into. She planned to focus a populist progressive campaign on canvassing and harnessing grassroots enthusiasm. If suburban Republicans came along, attracted by the promise of Medicare for all or tuition-free public college, then great. But they would not be King's target. She's targeting the base. Lancaster Stands Up voted to endorse King, as did a local immigrant rights group with a broad grassroots network. Make the Road Pennsylvania. Justice Democrats, a small dollar operation that was backing leftist Democrats, got behind her as well. The primary is set for May 15th. With the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruling on Monday that the GOP had illegally gerrymandered the state's congressional districts, insisting they be redrawn before the primary. The decision could cut either way for King, depending on the shape of the new map. King then sought to secure the endorsement of the major players in the Democratic Party circles. Her campaign reached out to Emily's List, which was founded to elect pro-choice women to Congress. Emily's List sent King a questionnaire which she filled out and returned, affirming her strong support for reproductive freedom. That was October, by which point her campaign had broken the $100,000 mark, a sign of viability she had hoped would show Emily's List that she was serious. We followed up a few times after, and she did not hear, we followed up a few times after and did not hear back, said King spokesperson Guido Girgenti. It turned out the Democratic Party had other ideas, or at least it had an old idea. As is happening in races across the country, party leaders in Washington and in the Pennsylvania district rallied instead around a candidate who, in 2016, had raised more money than a Democrat ever had in the district and suffered a humiliating loss anyway. Okay, so do you understand what happened? You have a grassroots candidate rise up. She has the support of all the grassroots organizations. She's been involved in left-wing movements for a long time. Everybody's like, oh my God, what a great candidate. And she's running on Medicare for all and free college and a living wage. So what? This is awesome. We have the perfect candidate and we know we're going to win here. But as soon as she asked the major Democratic players that are tied to the leadership of the Democratic Party, hey, can we get your guys' endorsement too? Look, we have all the endorsement of all the populist left organizations that are full of activists that are doing the hard work on the ground. They go, oh yeah, totally. We're going to, sure, we'll think about it and then maybe we'll get back to you or something. Yeah, it's great. You're running. Woohoo. Then what do? They literally don't even give her a call back to tell her, hey, we're not going to endorse you. They don't do that. What they do is they pick and prop up a corporate Democrat who already ran in the last election, broke the fundraising record, and got their ass handed to them. Now, why are they doing that? Why do they say, oh, we'll go with the Republican light candidate instead of Jess King and endorse them? Well, the answer, there's two reasons. Number one, Jess King is not running as Republican light. She's running as a Bernie Sanders-style politician. She's a crusader for populist left ideas. She totally supports reproductive choice, of course. So when you fill out the Emily's List thing, they say, oh, do you agree with us on the issue? She's like, yes! And they're like, great, we don't like you, go away. Or they don't even respond to her call and say they're going to endorse her. They don't even say, hey, we're not going to endorse you, we're going to go in this other direction. They just brush you off. We don't care about you because you're actually grassroots, you're actually populist left. Not only are you for reproductive choice, but you're also for Medicare for all, free college, or living wage. On those issues, we're not necessarily with you because we're tied to Republican leadership. Republican leadership is tied to big money donors. Big money donors don't want those policies. So the actual left-wing politician who would win, no, we're going to go with the shitty Republican light politician who has a good chance of losing because they already lost when they broke the fundraising record. So the two reasons why they're not going with Jess King, number one, she's not running as Republican light. And number two, in fact, I'll let them explain it in the article. Listen to this. The way to win party support, Democratic Party support, is to pass what's called the phone test in order to establish whether a person is worthy of official backing. DCCC operatives will, quote, Rolodex a candidate. According to a source familiar with the procedure. On the most basic level, it involves candidates being asked to pull out their smartphones, scroll through their contact lists, and add up the amount of money their contacts could raise or contribute to their campaigns. If the candidate's contacts aren't good for at least $250,000, or in some cases much more, they fail the test and party support goes elsewhere. Okay. Stop. Let's reflect here. The situation with the Democratic Party is way worse than even I thought. I knew it was bad. I was the one sounding the alarm from a long time ago. It's even worse than I thought. This is unconscionable. This is insufferable. I mean, think about that. Who the fuck can grab their phone and just through the contact list raise $250,000? Here's your answer. Nobody. The top 1%, maybe the top 0.1%. That's it. So what they're saying is, no. It is a requirement that you are an elitist to run as a Democrat. It's a requirement that you're a corporatist to run as a Democrat. Listen, I run Secular Talk. Show does pretty well, doesn't it? You know how much money I'd raise if I went through my fucking phone to try to raise money for a campaign? Probably less than $1,000. And my mom would be giving $500. So what they're saying is, policy is irrelevant. Policy doesn't matter at all. Do you have big money connections? They literally prioritize big money connections before anything involving policy. And they wonder why they lose. They lost to Donald Trump, guys. This is why you fucking lose to Donald Trump. You know they lost 1,000 seats under Barack Obama? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the leaders of the Democrats, they lost 1,000 seats. Why? Because all their candidates are like this. Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. Why? Because she's like this. Let me give you some platitudes and some cliches. Break down the barriers. Stronger together. We don't hate minorities. Yay. And everybody's like, okay. Oh, so inspiring. They don't want people who are in favor of Medicare for all and free college and a living wage and a new New Deal and end the wars and legalize marijuana. They don't care about... Their litmus test is not, oh, are you in favor of these hallmark policies that you need to support in order to win because they're overwhelmingly popular and this is a democracy? No, their litmus test is, can you raise $250,000 by just going through your phone? This is beyond disgusting, and the Democratic Party is even worse than I thought. This is as bad as it gets, man. This is as bad as it gets. You have, guys, oh my God, they're responsible for Donald Trump. They're responsible. You have a populist left candidate who has massive grassroots support. Activists are supporting them. Everybody's like, yes, Jess King, yes, awesome. Gets all the good people, small money donors who care about the issues and are fighting on the issues. They all support her. The people support her. The corporate Democratic Party, elitist Democratic Party, goes, we're not even going to give you the courtesy of a response call to let you know that we're not picking you. We're just going to go with this Republican-light candidate who already lost. Because they're that beholden to donors, to big money donors. So here you have it, man. This is as damning as it gets. The Democratic Party, they have two requirements for you to run for them. You have to be Republican light, and they go on to explain that in more detail. Democratic leaders are like, okay, yes, you have to abandon your base in order to get the suburban moderate Republican voters to vote for you. That's what they say. The people who are socially liberal but fiscally conservative, abandon your base for those people. So the two requirements are you have to be Republican light, and you have to be a corporatist and an elitist and be able to raise $250,000 from looking at your from going through your contacts in your phone. This is even worse than I thought. It's worse than I thought. It's worse than I thought. This is what gives us Trump. This is what gives us a Republican, because there's no opposition. The Republicans have a vision. It's the worst vision in the world, but it's a vision. What are we in favor of? Fuck immigrants. Build the wall. Scapegoat immigrants for all your problems. Endless war. All that stuff. And when you give people the option of a Republican or Republican light, they always choose Republican. Why not give them a different option? Somebody who's populist left. Somebody who represents what a Democrat is supposed to represent. Ending the wars. Legalize marijuana. New Deal. Living wage. Medicare for all. Free college. Nope. Because if you're for those things, you're pissing off the donors. And I just showed you how they prioritize the donors over the policies. So you have to be Republican light, you have to be a corporatist and an elitist, and you have to sell out to big money donors. That's a requirement in the Democratic Party. Listen to me. Listen to me. You have to support these candidates. Jess King, listen, I'm not affiliated with Justice Democrats anymore. I'm not. But if I were to have a conversation with Jess King, what I would say is, this is where we open a two-front war, Jess. Now, many people who run... Jess King is a good person. The Justice Democrats are good people. So oftentimes their instinct is the opposite of that. Their instinct is like, we try to fucking play nice with the Democrats, but go after the Republicans. And I would say, no, this is where we open a two-front war. The whole purpose of your campaign now, I don't want to hear you talk for 5 minutes without mentioning the fact, every time you talk, you need to bring up the establishment of the Republican Party hates us and the establishment of the Democratic Party hates us, because we're going to represent the people of both parties. We're going to represent all Americans and push for the policies that all Americans agree with, including Medicare for all and free college and a living wage. And they hate me. The establishment Democrats hate me. They despise me. The elitist corporatist Democrats hate me. I would take a fucking chainsaw to the Democratic Party. I would say they're part of the fucking problem. Look at what's going on here. Look what's going on here. I don't want their support. That's what you say. You open a two-front war. You fight the establishment of the Republican Party, and you fight the establishment of the Democratic Party. You say, I don't want your fucking support, Emily's List. I did when I thought you were decent people. Now I know you're not decent people. Now I know you don't even care about the issues you say you care about. You don't care about reproductive choice. I'm better on reproductive choice than the Republican-light candidate you are backing. So you're frauds. You're frauds. You're elitists. You're corporatists. So I don't want anything to do with you. I despise the establishment of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. I'm here to represent the people. The Democratic Party needs to shape up and do their goddamn job and start representing the people. But they're not doing it. So I want everybody to vote for me because I'm going to take on the establishment of both parties. I'm going to take on this corrupt government, and I'm going to fight for the people. I don't care about name recognition or party. I care about fighting for the people. That's what I'm here to do. So you don't see, this is where many people who are good candidates, they slip up because they want to play nice with the people who are supposed to be on their side, the groups. But no, when they snub you this bad, when they expose how corrupt they are and elitist they are, and they don't even care about the issues they say they care about, that's when you take out the fucking chainsaw and swing it at their face. So if I was affiliated with Justice Democrats still, I would get in contact with Jess King and let her know this is your strategy moving forward. And then you win. And then you win, because that's when you get even more grassroots support. Bernie Sanders to this day goes out there and says, the Democratic Party is a failure, and here's what they need to do to be better. Weird. The one politician in the United States of America who openly shits on both political parties is the most popular politician in America. What does that tell you? It tells you people despise the parties. And on some level, they know how corrupt they are. They might not be able to explain in detail how that's the case, but they know they're fucking corrupt because they're not representing them. So your job is to go out there and destroy both parties with your arguments and use policy to get people to donate to you. So I'm going to leave Jess King's her website where you can make a donation to her campaign. I'm going to leave that in the video description box. Please do it, because look at how much it's biased against populist left candidates. If populist left candidates don't sweep in the upcoming election, it's not because the American people don't want them. It's because their campaigns were crushed by big money, crushed by the establishment Republicans, crushed by the corporate Democrats. That's the only way we can lose, is if they don't hear our message. Because when people hear our message, they agree with us.